Hello, friends and families and loved ones. How are you people doing today? I guess you all woke up safe and sound without any qualms. If that's the case, let's glorify God. This is Mr. B.O., a full-fledged Igbo son and teacher of Igbo language, culture, and traditions, including general issues that will affect our lives in society. Today, we're going to talk about our mothers, also known as mothers-in-law. Yes, mothers-in-law. As long as you have a child that's married to anybody at all, you're a mother-in-law. Right. Now, let's continue. Yes, mothers-in-law, who are also our dear mamas. When you got married, perhaps you didn't start bearing children, didn't start getting pregnant and start bearing children. It took you for a while. It took you a while before you took in and became pregnant and started bearing children. Your husbands did not give you husbands. Some of you stayed as long as 10 years before you started conceiving and bearing children. You stayed. Your husband did not chase you away. Your own mothers-in-law did not chase you away. You stayed, and eventually you succeeded. You got pregnant and started bearing children, which eventually made you to be somebody's mother-in-law, some people's mothers-in-law. You were not chased away from your marriage. Nobody chased you away. You were tolerated. You stayed. You knelt down, asked God to kind of answer your prayers because you wanted to bear a child. You wanted to bear children. And eventually, God answered your prayers, your silent and open prayers. And you started getting pregnant. And along the line, you started bearing children. You became mothers. So why don't you just, for a while, sit down and ponder over this and say, you are not supposed to go to that son of yours. You're not supposed to go to his house and start disturbing the wife, his dear wife, simply because the woman hasn't started bearing children for your son. You have no business in your son's places if you're not going there to look how their wives are, how the well-being of their wives. If you aren't going there for such purpose, then you ain't got no business there. Stay in your husband's house. Stay in your husband's houses, for crying out loud. Don't go there and start giving someone's daughter, some trouble. Don't go there and start giving someone's daughters some heck of trouble. Rather than go there to give someone's daughters some heck of trouble, go there to check out how she is doing. Find out whether she's doing good, whether she's all right. Find out what her problems are in terms of probably she's sick or lonely or something of that nature if their husband is not there, if their husbands aren't there. Once in a while, you cook meals. Take to that daughter of someone. Take to those daughters of someone, some people. Call them to know if they are okay. Okay? If they complain they aren't feeling well, try to get them drugs. If you don't have money to get them drugs, what do you do in alternative? You get down on your knees and pray to God to let them recover. If you can't do either of these, you can't give them money to buy drugs if they are unwell, then you can kneel down and pray for them, asking God to intervene in their situations. Asking God to turn around their indisposed situation and make them get better. Then you ain't got no business in that son of yours house. Stay put in your own home. Whether or not your husband still lives, stay put in your own home. If you can't go to your son's house to make peace, if there's any problem, all you do is just kind of inspire your son. You inspire your sons to leave those daughters of someone, those daughters of some people, forgetting that you were once like that. You were once in their situation. Yours might even be worse. After 1 year of marriage and the woman hasn't conceived, it's not too late. After 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 10 years, 12 years, it's not too late. You would know how long it took Abraham's wife, Sarah, to conceive if you're a Christian. It's not about going to the church every Sunday, attending church activities. There are much more than that meet the eye. So talk to God about that daughter-in-law of yours. Talk to God about those daughters-in-law of yours. Okay? When your daughter-in-law is aware that her mother-in-law, when your daughters-in-law are aware that their mothers-in-law are concerned about their well-being, they feel happy. That's just the way it is. Rather than kind of inspire your sons to drive away their daughters, their wives, so that you can get them someone whom you think will start bearing you children. Because the only reason mothers always go to their sons' houses to make trouble is because of their wives. Probably the wife hasn't taken in. The wives have not taken in. The wives have not born them children. There are so many reasons. But the chief reason is when your daughter-in-law hasn't started conceiving, when your daughters-in-law have not started conceiving. That's the problem there, especially the black nation, black Africa. We are so much concerned about our sons' wives not being able to give them children. That's the way they put it. Give my son children. Give my son children. What are you doing here? You see them vibrating. They were once in such a situation, and nobody chased them away. Their own mothers-in-law pampered them, made them feel relaxed, made them feel comfortable in their sons' homes. So why don't you do the same thing? Why don't you do the same examples? Why don't you be, for once, let that woman have peace of mind? Don't be someone that when someone's daughter remembers you, she begins to feel bad, wishing you were dead. Yeah, this is one of the reasons some ladies would say if their fiancés' mothers aren't dead, they won't get married to such men because of these hazards. Some mothers-in-law are some hard nuts to crack. Let me just put it that way. Okay, there are some hard nuts to crack. Someone that will not stay one day in her home and pray, asking God to intervene in the lives of her daughter-in-law. Always going there to foment trouble. Always going there to cause the poor woman to some kind of sleepless night. Making her feel regretting why she married the man who is her husband. That's totally unfair. You were treated right when you were married, even if your own mother-in-law or mothers-in-law treated you wrongly because you took your time to conceive. You wouldn't want to do that to someone's daughter, to some people's daughters. It's not right. All you have to do is to pray so that God would answer them, so that there will be joy in the morning. That's all you have to pray. Be concerned about the joy that your son-in-law, your son and your daughter-in-law will have in the morning, because they say joy usually comes in the morning. Okay? Don't be a reason anyone will always be crying, anyone will always be wailing, weeping, always uncomfortable each time they remember you. Don't be the reason for the bitterness of anybody. Don't be the reason anyone would want to wish you dead. Because some ladies would wish their mothers-in-law dead so that they'll be free, especially those ones that think that the problem they've got is their mother-in-laws. So, as a mother-in-law, respect yourself. Compose yourself in decorum. Don't let anybody start feeling bad because of you. Don't let anybody kneel down and pray that you will die so that they will be free. Okay? If you're not treated well, you wouldn't be able to stay and give birth to that child or those children of yours who are married to some women out there. But because you were given the opportunity to stay, you were prayed for, you were wished well, in the end you conceived. The turnout is your son. The turnout are the sons whose wives you never allowed to have rest for a minute. Come on. Where is your sense, woman? You're a mother. You really have to treat that daughter-in-law of yours like her own mother. Remember, that daughter there signifies that she is part of you. She's like your own blood daughter. So you started sharing some bloodline with her. So in the same way you're going to treat your own daughter, treat that lady in the same manner. Just imagine this. If she were your own biological daughter and is married to someone somewhere, and her mother-in-law begins to treat her in such a manner as you do treat someone's daughter, yes, how would you feel? You wouldn't feel right. You wouldn't feel right at all. Nobody feels right. And if she were your daughter, you wouldn't go there and say, go away from someone's son. You are not giving birth to them. Why are you still there? You are not going to do that. All you do is just to sound nice, being a nice woman, because you know whatever you do there will tell on your own daughter. So the same way you would wish that your daughter was left, whether or not she conceives, do that same way. Do that same thing to someone's daughter. That's the way it is. Please, mothers-in-law, our dear mothers, you have to have a rethink. Change your ways and embrace those daughters of some people, those daughters-in-law of yours. Embrace them. Let them be part of you because you have accepted them. Your son has accepted them. As long as your son or your sons have accepted them, they are now part of your family. That's the way it goes. Please be nice to them so that they won't pray that you die, so that they won't wish that you would drop dead someday. All right, that's all for now, folks. Catch you some other day. Bye.